So tomorrow with the same guest, if you come, so they will send you back. I'll note it down the IDs. G2, V3, whatever the issue, please try to resolve. Please try to resolve after the class. These are the two IDs showing me as a guest ID. K2 is asking, sir, if you compare the two strings, what if you compare the two strings? K2, what is the question? I'm not getting. Just raise your hand so that I'll enable your voice. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, passing two strings as arguments to the macro and comparing those two strings.
Whatever the things you want, you can rotate a loop and do all the things.
Okay, sir. So then this hash is not needed.
Not required. Correct. So you need to catch with the pointers, right?
Yes, sir.
That is a separate concept.
Okay, sir.
That's actually function design. See, in that type of bigger task, don't go for macro design. Function design you need to do.
Okay, sir.
And those are not things, what you call it. You should not catch with a pointer also, because that is not a function call, right? Macro call. You try it from your side, if let me know if not. So this is about the thing. A16 wants to ask one question. Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, my question is that basically a macro body is like a function definition. So
Yes.
Can we do all operations till now which we have done so far using macros?
Using functions.
Using macros, sir, because it's
Yes,
like a function
using
definition.
Functions, whatever we did, everything we can do using the macros. But
Means
only the
STRC.
thing is,
Yes.
only the thing is, when you need to design a functions and when you need to design a macro, as a programmer, you are able to decide it.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes macros will make more burden. Like macros means function macro body is going to be pasted, right? In a macro call.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So in that case, line of what you call length of the code may increases. Executable file size gets increases.
Yes.
So
But
in such cases,
we
yeah. But we can anything we can write it in a macro, because you know multi-line macro how to write it, right?
Yes, sir. Got it. Thank you, sir.
Yes. So next discussion will be write a C program which contains two main functions. Very interesting task here. Write a C program which contain two main functions. Now logically tell me, can we write two main functions in one program? Logically, can you tell me two main functions in one program? No. But inform to preprocessor to consider only one main. Inform to preprocessor to consider only one main. So we need to write, it's not a recursion. A16 is not a function call. Two main functions we need to define it. We need to define a two main function. And what we need to do, we need to inform to the preprocessor to consider only one main. Hash include stdio.h void main printf in main1 void main printf in main2. If I give the same code as it is to the translator unit, it will generate an error because multiple definitions, right? So now I need to inform to the preprocessor. Observe how. Hash define OP as 1. Hash if OP double equals to 1, hash else hash end if. Observe here. If you want to design a program where multiple main functions are there, so what you can do is you can write like this. Observe, I defined one macro. What is the macro name and what is the macro body here? Can you tell me? What is the macro name? OP. What is the macro body? 1. When who will check this condition? You need to understand these points here. Who will check that condition? Preprocessor. Is that condition is true or false for the preprocessor? Is OP is 1 or not? True. So when condition is true, in between this if and else, how many portion is there? How many lines you written? Those lines are going to be copied into, those lines are going to be pasted into .i file. This portion is not going to be pasted into the .i file. Ultimately, when it goes to the translator unit, only one main function should be there. Ultimately, when it goes to the translator unit, will you agree, only one main function will be there. This is how some of the interviews they will ask you very tricky question. Can we write a C program with multiple main functions, with 2 main functions? Answer is yes. You can write 2, you can write 3, you can write how many main functions you want in your C program, you can write it. But make sure that inform to the preprocessor which main it should consider. But make sure and inform to the preprocessor that which main function it should consider. Suppose more than, this is clear? If you want to use 2 main function, as per the compiler, it is not possible. C program you can write it, but it should not go to the next stage. I'll show you the output. 17_3.c. So observe, only in main1 is printed. Now this condition is checked by, this condition is checked by the preprocessor. Normally when we write any program, that condition is checked at runtime, but this condition is checked at preprocessor time. Yeah, okay too.
Sir, in previous case we have used hash a for replacement with the string, but why we have used hash else, hash if here?
This is the, I don't know you remembered or not, these are the conditional control statements, means preprocessor directive. I don't know, one of the duty of the preprocessor is first one is a replacement, header file inclusion. Second one is a comment removal. Third one is a macro replacement. Fourth one is what?
Conditional compilation.
Conditional compilation. That's what this is. Conditional compilation. This is not checked by at runtime. This if condition is checked at pre-processing time only. Preprocessor will do this. This is a syntax. Now tell me, normally if and else and all other things we used in a function, right? But now I am using here outside of the function.
Yes, sir.
Got the point?
What exactly?
This else portion is not pasted into the .i file. If you want, you can check it out. Yeah. Tell
Okay,
me.
sir. During pre-processing stage itself, this compilation happens.
This condition is checked. That's what it is called as a conditional compilation.
Okay, sir.
Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. One big question came from V5. Sir, without including the header file, we can declare a predefined functions declaration. See, a V5, as per the standard, you must and should include the header files before calling the printf and scanf. But for basic hello world programs, no problem. But when you're dealing with the files, I hope you might have practicing the file concepts, right? In that, don't include the header file, declare capital FILE. It will generate an error. V5, got the point? In all the cases, it is not possible. For basic programs, it is possible. V5, still my answer is not clear. Please raise your hand so that. T3 is asking, can we make this OP as a generic? No. The restriction of conditional compilation is pre-processor stage only you need to decide. The restriction is pre-processing stage only you need to decide. Hash elif OP double equals to 2. Hash elif OP double equals to 3. Hash else hash end. Observe here more than one main I am writing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Escape 4 YY P P 3 give me 1 minute. 3. How many main functions are there? Can you tell me in this program? How many main functions are there? 4. Which main it should consider by the preprocessor depends upon what we defined OP. If OP is 1, now tell me if OP is 5, which main is copied into the, if OP is 5, which main is copied into the .i file? Main 1, main 2, main 3, main 4. Will you agree main 4? Why? Because OP double equals to 1, condition false. OP double equals to 2, condition false. OP double equals to 3, condition false. Else. Hash endif is not a mandatory. This is a mandatory. Before getting the point, that is a mandatory. We can't take the input at runtime or load time. It must and should be at compile time only. That is a restriction of this conditional compilation. Now tell me, in between hash if and hash elif, How many statements are written? In between this, how many functions are written? In between hash if and elif. Below the hash if, above the elif. Below the hash if and above the elif. How many functions? We agree only one function. But if you want, you can define multiple functions. But if you want, you can define multiple functions. What is elif, sir? Elif is like nothing but else if, like in a C program, else if is there, right? This condition is not checked at runtime. This condition is checked at pre-processing time. K2 wants to ask one question. Yeah, K2.
Sir, not in this program. In general program, if we write if else, so at
That
time,
condition is checked at runtime.
okay, runtime. Okay, sir.
That condition is checked at runtime.
Okay, sir.
Got the point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anybody else? A16. Yeah.
Sir, why can't we take input at the runtime, sir?
Because
Means,
this
yes.
pre-processing is done at what time?
Sir, some pre-processing time, compile time.
And then you can't take this option at load time or runtime.
Yes, sir.
Because load time and runtime means executable file should be created, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, but here at the time of creation of executable file, these things are done, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is the reason we can't take at load time or run.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Lower your hand. Anybody else having any doubt? No. B4 wants to ask one question. Yeah.
Sir, if this hash end if is not given, then what will happen?
That
Sir?
is a preprocessor error. You can check it out while practicing.
Yes,
Preprocessor
sir.
error because it doesn't know where it needs to end.
Yes, sir. No. Oh, okay, sir.
Lower your hand. Now observe a very interesting and important point I need to tell you. I need to go to the. Suppose this is one sensor or one device. You are designing a code for this device. I'm talking about microcontroller point of view or whatever it is. This device can be interfaced to 8-bit controller, maybe interfaced to 16-bit controller, maybe interfaced to 32-bit controller, whatever it is. Again, you are writing a program for this device. This device can be interfaced to 8-bit controller or 16-bit or 32-bit at a time. At a time only one, right? At a time only one, right? Maybe 8-bit or maybe 16-bit or maybe 32-bit controller. So you decided that for 8-bit controller interface, 10 functions you want to design, configuration functions or whatever. For 16-bit, there is a 8 functions. For 32-bit, there is a 5 functions. But your device is going to be interfaced 8 or 16 or 32-bit. That depends upon the user who is interfacing your device. User means project, in which project it is used. I need to write a generic program in such a way that observe 17_5.c hash define microcontroller as 8. Hash if def microcontroller hash if microcontroller that is 8. Write the function hash elif microcontroller that is 16. Write the function hash elif microcontroller is 32. Write the function hash and if. Now observe here, whatever the functions you want to design for 8-bit controller for interfacing that, you design here. Suppose 10 functions, here 8 functions, here 5 functions. Suppose you are working on a 64-bit controller. Suppose you are working on a 16-bit controller. So then what you need to do? Here you need to write 16. You need to compile the source code so that only these functions can be loaded into executable file. All of you are getting the point? Again, I'll try to tell you. So what is the use of conditional compilation? Suppose you are designing some functions for this device. Suppose this is a touch screen. Suppose this is some sensor, fingerprint, or whatever it is. And you need to design a functions in such a way that it should work for 8 or 16 or 32 or 64-bit also, whatever it is. But only maybe 8, maybe 16, or maybe 32, or maybe 64 related code should be generated in a hex file. Have you heard about the hex file concept? Hex microcontroller, you will get it. So in such cases, what you need to do is you need to design. Now here, all the 8-bit related functions you need to design. Here all the 16-bit related things. Here all the 32-bit related, like 64-bit, like this you can. But at a time, now tell me. At a time, only one. Depends upon what is the macro we design. It depends. In such type of cases, in such type of situations, this type of conditional compilation. What is the use of a conditional compilation? To reduce the size of an executable file. So, who will check this condition? When it will check? Can I say preprocessor will check at compile time? Preprocessor will check at compile time. So if this condition is true, only this portion is going to be pasted into the .i file. This we need to change manually. There is no other option. This we can't take decision at runtime. Assembler will generate a hex file, correct? So suppose here 50 functions are there, here 50 functions, here 50 functions, total 150 functions are there. But in my hex file only any one of these 50 will be there, depends upon the macro you selected. Others are ignored in a .i file. Yes, definitely others are not copied into the .i file. In that type of cases, this conditional compilation will help you. So what is the main aim of the conditional compilation? The main aim of the conditional compilation is to reduce the size of an executable file. The main aim of the conditional compilation is to reduce the size of an executable file. If this point is clear, type C in the chat box, so that we'll discuss about some predefined macros. Already defined. Predefined means already defined. Predefined macros means already defined. Just I'll write it. This predefined macros. All the predefined macros starts with double underscore, ends with double underscore. Printf percentile s slash n comma underscore underscore file underscore underscore. Printf percentile s slash n underscore underscore date underscore underscore. Percentile s slash n underscore underscore time underscore underscore. Percentile d slash n underscore underscore line underscore underscore. Now if you're observing, all the predefined macros starts with a double underscore, ends with a double underscore. Again, all the predefined macros starts with a double underscore and ends with a double underscore. Underscore 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 underscore. So what is this? Will display file name. C file, dot C file name. Date. Date of pre-processing. Time. Time of pre-processing. Line number. Now can you tell me what is the line number here? What is the line number? 8. Let me compile the code and let me show you the output here. See, 17 underscore 6 dot c is the source code. Is this 17 underscore 6 dot c? What is the next? January 17th. Next. Date. Time. Line number. Is it 842? Is it? All of you are observing? 842? Yes. So this is some options are there. If you want, you can use. If you want to know in your executable file, this executable file is generated because of which .c. So use this file macro. This executable file is generated because of which .c. Use this macro. Is this clear to everyone? So this is the jobs of the preprocessor. I hope you got the information. Is it? And one more. Preprocessor internally connected to the clock. Yes, time. It will fetch a time. How to fetch the time and all other things? In Linux, we'll discuss it. And I hope one important notice is today 11:30 DS class will be there.